It's the dynastic Crusaders FC, looking to keep the Champions Trophy in its usual spot, taking on one of just two sides to defeat them this season in Sala time. James Coughlin behind the mic once again as we wrap up the season, but I couldn't do it alone, just like last year. Very pleased to be joined by the man who very much fits the expert commentator description, Mr. Ben Sharma.
Good to see you again, James. Welcome back to Nissan Arena. I saw you here flying solo a couple of weeks ago for the Queensland Futsal Cup, and I thought, I can't let that happen again. I need to be there at the action.
I am so glad I've got the company this morning and this afternoon for the men's grand final as well. Crusaders, I mean, what more can you say about this side? Premiers, cup winners, they know how to win these games.
They do, but the gap is closing, and it is closing rapidly with a young, dynamic purple team that we can see out there on the court with them. They are still the standard.
Very much so. Yeah. Sala time, they had that enthralling shootout win in the semi-final. Will that build them some momentum going into today's game?
Well, it could well do so. Again, a lot of the players here for the Sala team played in the youth grand final earlier this morning, which Crusaders got up at the last 30 seconds, 3-2. So who knows if any of that will hang over into this game. But last week's semi-final, cracking game, brought it back to 3-3 with 3 seconds left on the clock against even younger and equally dynamic Galaxy team. So who knows what will happen this afternoon, this morning.
Well, this afternoon, we will tick over midday as this match unfolds. Let's run through the teams for both sides. Let's start with Crusaders. Number 1, Layla Adams. 3, Misa Robinson. 5, Steph Latham. A late arrival today, but she did make it.
But not an early leaver.
No, not this time. I did check. Number 6, Annabelle Gibson. 7, Emily Dunn, the captain. 10, Zara Boyd. 11, Meg McElligott. 14, Bronte Rose. 15, April Gleeson. 19, JJ McLean. 37, Tia Venter. And 42, Georgie Zerps. Meanwhile, for Sala time, 23, Samantha Hughes. 2, Elena O'Connor-Morton. 5, Maddie Lang. 6, Lucy Rowell. 8, Caitlin McCormick. 9, Soraya Downman. 11, Hannah Muammar. 14, Dania Mustafa, 17, Melanie LaFrance, and 47, Kyla Hansen. Well, Ben, I'm going to ask you to put your expert hat on. Give us some key players for both of these sides.
Well, let's start with Sala time first, the challengers. Their key players are both in goal today at the moment, with Samantha Hughes, the Filipino goalkeeper at the moment in their futsal team, and Caitlin McCormack will be starting in goal and has been there for most of the season. Both exceptional shot stoppers and working really hard. On court, probably Kyla Hansen has done a lot of good work over recent time to make sure that she is at the pinnacle of the women's game in both football and futsal.
And an early chance there for Sala time. Great save by McLean early on. Barely 15 seconds played, and Lang was one of the players denied there as they had about a trio of shots from close range.
Yeah, with the Crusaders team, same old suspects, right? JJ McLean in goal. Absolute gun. Meg McElligott also on the court. You got April Gleeson out there as well. And Emily Dunn, Annabelle Gibson, all big game players, big time players. Let's see if they can pull off what they did last year against Sunshine Coast.
Well, Meg McElligott on the ball there. She scored 4 goals in their dominant 9-0 win over Sunshine Coast Wave in the semi-final. Slightly more one-sided than last year's grand final as McElligott goes for the cutback and it's blocked by Hughes. Look, if you're new to futsal, it is going to be fast, frenetic action for the next 45 or so minutes, Ben. I hope you've got your breath about you.
Yeah, I do. It's McCormick in goals to start with for Sala time.
Yes. Now with Eastern Suburbs in the NPL, spent time with the QAS. Spilled by McLean and just sent wide by Lucy Rowell. And she's wondering, was that the chance that they desperately needed for that good start?
Yeah, here to avenge her sister's loss last week. Her sister plays for the Sunshine Coast. And Lucy at Sala time. But 2 great opportunities early on for Sala time. Possibly should have taken both of them. Let's see if they can hold out wave after wave of Crusaders attack.
Short pass by Gibson is pounced on by Downman. She'll get the pass back to Lang and she'll fire it straight into the midsection of McLean, moving it quickly. Here is Meg McElligott. She's got Gleeson in support. Over to her left. Can she square it over? And a great save again by McCormack.
Yeah, starting well. Both keepers starting well at the moment. A little bit shakier down the Crusaders' end. But going forward, Crusaders look like they could potentially have a shot on target every time. That'll eventually turn into goals, one might think.
They do have some lethal strikers. Meg McElligott, one of the top scorers in the NPL competition. Steph Latham up there as well. I think she scored 52 goals in 2023. Another 24 for Brisbane City this season. So she knows how to find the net, and whether it's indoor or outdoor football, and just a very talented player we'll see a bit later on. Here is Emily Dunn. She missed last year's grand final with that broken foot. She was standing next to us. I thought she was actually going to try and take one of the mics off us last year.
She's been a welcome addition back to this Crusaders team, who are essentially the same team that has been so dominant for the past 4 years.
Gleeson picking up the ball in the centre of the court. Back goes Annabelle Gibson. Become a run of injuries to feature heavily for Gold Coast Knights this season, and also leading the way for Crusaders, the F-League Golden Boot winner, credited with 17 on the season.
Yeah, absolutely. Very dynamic. Wins the ball a lot around the halfway line. Takes 1 or 2 touches, and it's usually in on goal by
that was
stage.
A heavy challenge from Gibson, and it looks like it might have
young Rowell over there.
Mark on Rowell, but futsal players, they breed them differently. They're all quite capable of taking a hit.
Absolutely. Small confined spaces, a lot more contact points.
One of the many reasons why I never made it as a player.
Well, yeah. Potentially.
That
general skill level as well, potentially.
You beat me to it by half a second there, Ben. Much more comfortable up here with you, I think.
Yeah.
Rowell getting a
very
little nibble there.
Gibson is very strong in defence. A lot of the Sala girls will know about it as the game goes on.
I think the official term is uncompromising defender.
Uncompromising, yeah.
And McElligott, ruthless striker, passing it up for Gleeson. Has a pocket picked by Lang.
Lang's been very good this year for Sala time. One of their linchpins in their run to the grand final.
She'll be asked to take on a big role today, without a doubt. Clever work down the far side, finding Downman as she goes shoulder to shoulder with Gleeson, and they almost wind up in the referee's room behind the pitch. How about that for a flick from McElligott?
Long ball there from JJ McLean, and McElligott had it through her legs, but McCormick was up to the challenge on that occasion.
And 5 minutes into the first half, it certainly looks like we're going to see almost an ice hockey style line change. There's a goal
from the far side.
And it is April Gleeson, almost against the run of play, you'd have to say. She put it into the side of the net.
Yeah, so the ball's popped up. Gibson's used her strength there, wrestling with one of the Sala defenders. The ball's popped out off Gibson's head to April Gleeson, and Gleeson hits it first time on the volley and beats McCormick down low. 1-0 Crusaders, and a pulsating start has seen Sala not take advantage of their dominance on the court.
But they have got Kyla Hansen on the court now. Here she is on the edge of the area and just playing it into the outstretched hand of McLean. Here is Steph Latham.
A full court swap, a full team swap for Crusaders after the goal.
Well, they had all 4 outfield players ready to go. It was almost like an ice hockey style line change.
Yeah, that's been happening a lot more in futsal as teams have developed, and they trust their squads more so than just their starting 5.
And when you look at the players that they're bringing on as well, Misa Robinson, Steph Latham, you've got Georgie Zerk in 42, and here on the ball is Zara Boyd.
Zara and Georgie from the younger brigade at Crusaders.
They played a very big role in that cup final win as well, those two.
Yeah, very good at futsal, very good. Also very good, accomplished outdoor players.
Boyd intercepting the pass, finding Robinson. Now back to tee up Latham. Tight angle. Will she take the shot on? And she will, and put it into the outside of the netting there for McCormick's goal. They will resume a chance to catch our breath, albeit briefly, because McCormick has to distribute it quickly before the time goes out.
Looked like a bit of hand.
The
referees didn't seem to think so.
It's a Thierry Henry style play of the ball, with apologies to any Irish viewers.
Do get a lot of Irish people tuning into FQ Futsal. Mifsud there.
Mustafa in 14.
Yeah. Danya, she's a very good player. Played a few seasons out at Ipswich as well.
Which
very capable.
We just saw before we kicked off, a big win for
So
Ipswich.
that was my son's team. That team hasn't won a competition since under 12s. Came out and won the youth men's competition. So very happy with themselves.
And boy, do those celebrations look like they were about to go off as well. So, that one almost took out some people in conversation behind the goal.
Yeah, again, being down on the centre court here, we did this a few years back, I think 4 or 5 years ago.
Boyd cuts out that pass.
Yeah, it was a wonderful experience being back down on the show court. The other courts are nice here, but for an international size court, to have a proper runoff and feel safe when you're not only playing but spectating.
Yeah, I think we felt like we were in danger on the side of the court last year as well.
Absolutely.
Some of those challenges flying in and the clearances as well. As Boyd, strong in the challenge, picks the pocket now. Tee up, serves, winning the ball back off the clearance from McCormick. Latham hits it first time, blocked away by Mustafa.
LaFrance, young 15-year-old Mel LaFrance is on for Sala time. Number 17 up the top.
The responsibility leading the line for the time being in the grand final is pass just evading.
Number of
Latham.
15-year-olds in the F League this season. A couple floating around Galaxy and Ipswich as well. All exceptional players.
Should go over the top, just too tall for Hansen to bring under control, but I'll be honest, I spend more time commentating the NPL competition, and Kyla Hansen is definitely one of those players that, whether it is futsal or 11 aside, she is definitely one of the bright young talents to keep an eye on as well.
Absolutely.
And you can see the benefit of futsal when it comes to the NPL as well. She's a dynamic attacker and capable of changing games, and it should be no different here.
And works really well in tight spaces. Really well in tight spaces. Can beat one or two defenders, drags them forward. You see Sala is sitting a lot behind their own half court here, allowing Crusaders to come onto them and blocking in tight in and around the goal to make sure that they've got numbers between the shooter and the keeper.
And then looking to play it forward very, very quickly is Mustafa going down to the knees, trying to nod the ball on, but Robinson had other ideas with the high foot, which thankfully didn't end as badly as it could have.
That's right. Just taking their time getting out. Again, Sala will sit back and invite Crusaders onto them and try and pinch it on the counter-attack.
Robinson well defended by the youngster LaFrance. The decision is for Crusaders kick in, which is taken quickly by Robinson as Latham can't get clean contact on the ball, and Crusaders will maintain possession just on their side of halfway. A few changes now.
Gibson and Dunn back on.
Not a total line change, but
that's coming. It's coming. They'll get their starting four back on very shortly, Crusaders.
Gleason and McElligott ready to come on, but for now it's just behind from Hansen.
Created the space, and the two wide runners helped create that space, but the pass just went behind Mustafa on the left-hand side. If she could get it in front of her, it might have been a different story altogether.
Just perhaps trying to play those fine margins, which you need to in such tight quarters, as Akana Morton with the clearance. She's sitting deepest at the moment. Now clipped over the top, trying to... Yeah, Gleason, and it looks like we've had a head clash, so brief stoppage in play now, as it was...
Looked uncomfortable for both players. Looks like Hansen's come off worse there.
Forward of Dunn, I think, into the side of Hansen's head, so...
Absolutely.
Have a stoppage in play. The clock has stopped with 9:31 showing here on the scoreboard.
So just like last season, once we get into the last 5 minutes, it'll be a full stop clock. So every time the ball is out of play in the last 5 minutes, the clock will stop, and that'll allow a lot more tactical nous towards the end of each game, or each half.
And perhaps a chance for the players to catch their breath as well, because we should mention the conditions in here. It is it's thick, I think is the appropriate.
But also our position is much warmer than the court at the moment. Once the court with the fans, the downforce on the fans is much cooler than where we are currently.
Well, Hansen is now walking off, thankfully, and she is replaced by Raoul. As she'll just
capable hands of Fiona Stevenson, the Football Queensland sports trainer.
And any time it is a head knock as well, you just want to play it safe, understandably.
Absolutely. Nice long ball there from McLean.
With a pair of Salatime defenders for company done. She's holding them off so well, just waiting for a bit of support. Gibson is moving up the sideline. Dunn might try to go herself, but it's the way. As you can see, a couple of photographers just parked down there as well. Josh Springfield, I think he's Mr. Everyman around Queensland football.
Photographers everywhere. Everywhere you want to be.
With that trusty camera, and Raoul is put herself in the path of Gibson, trying to block that pass. Blocked by McElligott. Heavy touch, and McElligott trying to square it to Gleeson. And it's out for a corner.
Just a lot of pressure building here from Crusaders. They'll be looking to get a shot off on target shortly. Try and turn that into a goal. But Sala are defending quite well, really tight and really deep at the moment, making sure there's no balls through the centre. They don't want that ball to get through to McElligott like it is now in the centre of the court, because she can turn, and she has turned.
And in tight space, Meg McElligott almost burying that chance, working through 3 defenders, and here comes Sala on the counter, just too far ahead of Okana Morton.
So that'll be Sala's go-to defensive structure, to make sure the ball does not go through the centre of the court to one of those skillful Crusader ladies with their back to goal, because they will turn and they'll turn and they'll turn and they'll keep turning until they create an opportunity, just like McElligott did then.
And it is such a patient approach from Crusaders. They know what they've got to do here to try and just, I suppose, suffocate the life out of this game as well. They've got the lead now. They can try to build their way into it, as Glenn Boyd is very animated on the sideline.
Oh, yeah. No, he's had a few grand finals already this morning with the juniors. The under-13 boys grand final went right down to almost the last kick of the game. He was in the thick of that. And then youth women also down to the last 30 seconds, so had some tight encounters already.
And here is some space for McElligott with the right-footed shot, which is blocked away by Downman, and just putting bodies in the way. Sala trying to withstand this surge. So McElligott will recover with the Crusaders-themed ribbons tying that hair back.
Oh, yeah. It's all part of the whole package.
Most famously, Hayley Rasso with her nickname of Ribbons.
Ooh.
Strong shot from Dunn.
It is a strong shot, but Sala are working so hard to keep those shots out from those tight angles. So it's much easier for McCormick in goals. And they're doing a really good job at making sure that the shots aren't coming from directly in front of goal at the moment.
Gibson calmly placed back to McLean. Over goes Gibson. Just can't get enough on that pass. It was well read by Okana Morton. Here she goes into the Crusaders half as Gibson in the way. Clever turn by Gibson. She's got Dunn in support. Gibson will square it over to Dunn and just putting it wide. Emily Dunn. Great counter-attack from Crusaders, just missing that end product.
And Gibson again, too strong on the ball for Okana Morton there. Drew out the fixo and played the ball to Dunn one-on-one, and Dunn just couldn't beat McCormick.
April Gleeson, while she was getting fouled, still managed to make a pass that found Gibson, but they pulled it back for the free kick.
Futsal, where all the skills are.
And McElligott, perhaps just a little bit of frustration there, taking the shot on from range.
But again, trying to eliminate those one-on-ones in front of goal. It's taking extraordinary skill from Crusaders to be able to create that. Sala are defending really well in the tight block.
And a shot from McLean.
We might start seeing a few longer balls from McLean into a contest there in the circle with McCormick and some of the taller Crusader players.
And is that, I suppose, how you try to draw out that tightly packed defence?
It is one way to try and break that tight block through the middle. There's lots of ways to do it, and that's one that potentially effective with the generously, like the much taller Crusaders team. And they are much taller than the Sala team.
See a couple more changes getting made ready for Sala time, as that one is blocked off the cheek of Downman.
Yeah, excellent defensive header. She knew exactly where that was.
And Gibson again shooting from range and just palmed away by McCormick.
Again, range, I would imagine Sala should be happy with range at the moment. So when they get in tight in the circle, that's when the issues will start to occur and the keeper will be less comfortable.
Quite on the same page. Sala time for that pass. It was Rao trying to play it forward for Mustafa.
And you can see up on the clock now, it's paused at 4:46. So the last 5 minutes stop clock will occur every time the ball goes out.
And that is a very good side as well. Hansen has been cleared to come back onto the court, and
involved with the play straight away.
As she is wont to do.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, excellent defending there, getting in front of the attacker, Mustafa, and then winning the foul as well. Also, the 5 foul, accumulated foul rule in futsal. If you commit 6 fouls in a half of futsal, then it is a 10-metre penalty to the opposition. If we get to extra time, then your fouls from the second half carry over through the whole second time period. Extra time period.
Long throw with Latham.
Trying to tee up Robinson there at the top of the circle.
And a shin pad has come loose as it's collected by McCormick and returned to its rightful owner, which is Mustafa. Thankfully, that is actually a proper size shin pad, unlike some of the ones we've seen other
the
players.
Micro shin pads. You don't even notice they're on the court when they fall out sometimes.
Thankfully, on the court, you can't lose it in the long grass.
Well, this is true. Do become a hazard, though, on the court. Very slippery hazard. So you saw the referee insisting that Mustafa pull her socks up over her shin pad. McCormick,
interception by Hansen as Boyd, whose pass was the one that was intercepted, does track back well, and Boyd arguing the awarding of a kick in for Sala time. Not sure I've ever seen those debates yield a change of opinion from the referee, but
they rarely, if ever, change the direction. Ooh, cheeky little pass in behind there, didn't quite meet the target, but starting to move Crusaders around when they get forward here, Sala. They're just not quite getting forward often enough.
I suppose when he's so committed to that defensive work, and they probably wouldn't be too upset with a 1-0 scoreline at the moment, thinking all they need is one chance to get themselves back into it, but it could be danger time here for Sala time as Hansen gets off that pass from Latham, who was well marshalled by Mustafa, and Boyd trying to snap that shot away before it crossed the sideline.
The fast transition out of defence into attack is what they're going for. And so far, Gibson and Boyd have been up for the challenge from Crusaders. But Sala trying to wrestle some momentum back.
Just not quite on the same page was Lang.
Downman looks like she's about to come back on.
Latham and Robinson, again, just not quite on the same page when they try to link up. As Downman comes on to replace the very busy, very successful so far, Mustafa.
They'll rotate Hansen to the back of the court for Sala. They might free her up to play a wide pass and then move through the centre of the court. Be an option. You see them rotating a lot. They'll keep rotating.
And it would also help keep them fresh as well, because the defenders are probably going to be doing a fair bit more work when they're packed so tightly at the back. And it does help keep them fresh as well, aside from just giving the players a breather on the bench.
Absolutely.
Robinson.
Miscue there. Went to the wrong foot. Probably looking for that on her left foot. Said went with it with her right and probably could have taken the line instead.
And perhaps just trying to have an early look and see where Latham was.
Looking for some movement from Sala. It goes long and wide, but they end up with a corner. Crowd trying to come into it now for Sala.
There is a lot of yellow and blue here in Crusaders colours, with Crusaders very well represented in the matches going on around us as well.
Yeah, both teams have been very well represented today, and particularly in the female futsal space. Sala and Crusaders have been the two dominant female futsal teams, clubs this season, and with the
good
shot from
save
Lane.
by McLean.
Down low to her left. It's all kicking up off court 4 in the under-16 boys final. A lot of noise over there. Corner here.
Heavy challenge over there, but back to the corner. Hansen picking it up again to put under plenty of pressure by Georgie Zerbst, and Crusaders winning it back, and that deflection from Dowman could prove crucial because it does allow teammates to get back. Zerbst, it's checked away by Muammar. Over goes for Latham. Watched closely by Downman, not finding
McElliott has retaken the court.
And just toe poked away. That had to be gotten just right by Soraya Downman, because if not, McElligott would have had almost a clear shot on goal.
Absolutely. You expect her to score from there if she gets a clear shot on goal.
Hansen does well. Pocket of Zerbst, and she's just
dragged
yanked back by the
Zerbst.
arm. And
I am surprised that's not called back as a foul. A clear drag back from Zerbst.
And there was a little look from both players towards the referee, which...
Possibly a yellow card as well in that situation. But she gets away with it.
Say like it or hate it, they're the decisions you got to play by.
Oh, absolutely.
Beautiful ball forward to pick out Downman through the legs of McElligott. Going to tee up Hansen, who's dispossessed Latham. The first touch ball out for McElligott, who directs Latham to find an angle and the pitching wedge into the goalkeeper area. It's collected by McCormick, who stood up well when called upon in this half, and
strong from Boyd there at the back to shield her keeper.
And that was almost disaster for Sala. Time Downman
had it covered. Had it covered.
Not to get away.
Absolutely knew her angles there, Downman. Caitlin McCormack was there in case she didn't quite know them, so that's all right. Sees it out safely.
All's well that ends well, and Latham trying to bend it into the near post. But
sneaky little corner from Steph Latham.
Is it an Olympico in futsal?
Can be whatever you want it to be.
So here go Crusaders. 90 seconds remaining.
2v1.
It's a 2-on-1. Meg McElligott there. Latham, wide open goal. It's 2-0 Crusaders in the closing minutes of the first half. And it was going to be McElligott or Latham. It was Steph Latham.
And that's what they've been working towards. They finally got Sala pushing forward. They created a 2v1 isolating the fixo. A little bit of back and forth, and Steph Latham ends up with the goal at her mercy and rolls it in for a 2-0 lead late in the first half.
I think there might have been a little bit of indecisiveness from Latham. Do you just roll it in, or here goes McElligott and just putting it wide? And that could have been almost curtains at halftime as well, with Crusaders really putting the foot down in the closing minutes.
Absolutely, and Sala have worked so hard to keep their goal intact. They'll be a bit disappointed by the overcommitment. A lot of strong work happening from the fixos here for Crusaders. And Lucy Rao seems to be on the end of it a lot. Puts herself in that position, but maybe a few calls may have gone her way on a different day.
Yeah, it's the way it goes sometimes. Is Sala time. They still have the entire second half to get themselves back into this match, and it would be remiss not to mention the fact that they did start that first half off so well, creating some chances and forcing some saves out of McLean, who wasn't happy with that pass, raises her hand in apology to Latham.
And until the second goal just now from Crusaders, they probably had the running of the stop clock period. Still 52 seconds left. Again, probably unlucky not to get a free kick there, Rao. Crusaders very, very tight defending at the back.
Well, the tone has been set now by the officiating team, so the players know how it is going to be done. As Latham looking for a second, did McCormick get a hand on it?
Absolutely.
She certainly was trying to say she didn't, but the decision is a corner for Crusaders.
Called by the far side referee, referee one over there.
Serves, trying to keep it in, but only plays it to Downman. Here goes Sala time on the break. So Kana Morton on the near side, but deflected off Latham. First time ball trying to pick out Downman, and here goes Latham. McElligott in support out to her right. Meg McElligott for the cutback. Pressure applied by LaFrance,
who's done an excellent job.
And McElligott sliding in, just slowing Rao down enough to allow Zerbst to come back. But there is a foul that Sala time probably feel like they should have had a few minutes ago.
Real does win her free kick, but that was a wonderful tackle from Meg McElligott, coming from behind, getting around in front and taking the foul. Timeout now from Sala, tactical timeout. See if they can sneak a goal in before half time. 14 seconds left. And the last 5 minutes will stretch out and stretch out and stretch out because of the stop clock nature. It allows for a lot of futsal to be played.
It does. And look, as an NFL fan, I'm more than used to a stop clock in my games as well. So this is nothing new for me.
And a lot of these women will be going on to the Nationals in 3 weeks' time.
They
down
do.
in Melbourne.
They do. And we've got some of the Queensland team members as well. We've got Gibson, Gleeson, Dunn, McLean, McElligott, and Robinson, all named for Crusaders. Probably fitting for their achievements this season. And for Sala time, it is Jamie Taylor, who is not in the squad today.
No, but however, there are a few of the younger girls, so they're not in the open women's team, but I know Akana Morton will be with the under-17 girls, or the youth women, as well as Georgie Zerps for Crusaders, and Zara Boyd will be with the younger junior age groups as well.
So Crusaders have the time to set up their team. It is Zerps and Latham in the wall, as Gibson has taken up station on the far post. It's allowed to run for Hansen to take the shot on. And McLean gets a foot to it.
Nice variation there. The step over from Dowman created a lot of space there for Hansen. She just couldn't get her shot up over the leg of McLean.
And back it goes for Hansen on the halfway line. Time ticking away, and that shot was never dipping down low enough.
Although that whole run of things, the free kick in the corner has only taken 6 seconds. Still 8 seconds left. Anything to happen. Looks like Zara Boyd just hold it at the back there and see the clock out.
And take one last speculative shot. And that will wrap up what has been an enthralling first half so far. Goals to April Gleeson and Steph Latham have Crusaders 2 goals to the good. Ben, still delicately balanced though.
Oh, absolutely. Sala time are not out of it at the moment at all. There's every chance they can keep that low block happening in defence and strike on the counter. With Kayla Hansen and a few others, young Langs played really well. Madeline Lang and Lucy Rowell is causing havoc at the back there for Crusaders. If they can get on the ball and get some clear shots away, it could level up very, very quickly.
It certainly will. The teams have swapped benches as we prepare for the second half to get underway. As the referees will go and have a very quick drink as well. We might do the same. We'll just take a quick time out and be back with the second half momentarily.
Industries is proud to be the official shelter and grandstands partner of Football Queensland. Felton offers a range of premium aluminium grandstands, from elite portable spectator seating to soccer team shelters for players and coaches. Give your fans the best view of the game with Felton's comfortable spectator seating. With sun-safe shelters or powder-coated in your team colours. Whatever your club needs, Felton has a high-quality, low-maintenance seating option to suit. We are the pioneers in Australian-made grandstands and team shelters. Contact Felton today on 1800 834 016 or visit felton.net.au.
One, two,
All right, we are back for the second half of the F-League Women's Grand Final. It is Crusaders leading Sala time 2-0 through 20 minutes. April Gleeson, Steph Latham with the goals, James Coughlin and Ben Sharma here for the second half. Ben, how was your halftime break checking out some of the junior finals
Well,
going?
my under-13 boys Queensland team is training at the moment, so I went over and made sure that they are raring to go for the national futsal titles in Melbourne from the 8th to 12th of January, and they are looking solid.
And making sure they're not just doing all shooting drills?
No, well, I'm happy for them to do shooting drills. Like, if we score, we win, right?
That is true. All right, so the teams have swapped sides. It is Sala time going from right to left on your screen. Crusaders left to right.
Starting four back on for Crusaders. Ground announcer's given the microphone.
That's always a dangerous prospect in my experience.
Absolutely.
And there is actually a trumpet in the Crusaders bay as well, so there's that to contend with as well. But plenty of noise here for this well-supported grand final.
Absolutely. Crusaders in both the men and women's finals today, so lots of Crusaders around, lots of junior grand finals for them as well.
And we should probably mention as well the men's grand final kicking off at 1:30 local time as well. That is Crusaders against Gold Coast Galaxy for that one, so a whole lot more futsal.
A battle of the coast.
Yes, in Brisbane.
Look, you've got to have some sort of venue, right?
Exactly. Well, no arguments about this not being a neutral venue.
No, this is the best futsal venue at the moment for senior men and women, along with Anna Mears Velodrome and the courts out of Ripley Valley, the three premium venues. But spectator-wise, right on top of the action here at Nissan Arena.
Indeed, it is a great vantage point for the fans, great vantage point for us, and I should have just mentioned about 90 seconds ago, also a change in goals for Sala time as well. Samantha Hughes stepping in for Caitlin McCormick.
Made her senior women's Filipino futsal debut this year in goals over at an ASEAN tournament.
And also a senior appearance for Lions FC in the Kappa Queensland Cup.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that was an 11-0 win down at Broadbeach for Lions, if I remember correctly. And if not, I'm sure someone will correct me on that.
Absolutely. Very capable goalkeeper. Two sensational goalkeepers for both teams here. The other goalkeeper on the bench for the Crusaders is Layla Adams, who herself is a highly accomplished goalkeeper and the first team goalkeeper at Gold Coast United.
Yes, Junior Matildas, and the heroine of the penalty shootout of the All-Star game between Queensland and Victoria.
Absolutely.
But either way, it's a testament to the young goalkeepers we've got coming through as well.
Absolutely.
With Hughes as well, just starting regularly at that age. You're doing something right.
Yeah, Hughes, I think the youngest of the four goalkeepers at 16. Pretty sure Layla is only 17 and Caitlin's also very young in that youth women's range as well.
Well, McCormick only just graduating out of the QAS NPL program as well. So certainly a lot of keepers with bright young futures that we'll be seeing across your FQTV screens quite frequently, I'm sure.
Absolutely. The women's keeping in Queensland is well served for the near future.
And a strong challenge by Hughes, clearing out Dunn. Again, she had to get that one right, but Dunn has actually stayed forward, and she's wide open if she can be found by Gleeson. But the pressure from, was it Downman?
Absolutely. Lang has picked her up now, though. They've left Gibson free at the top, and she's had a strike from long range, and it's only Hughes getting down late there to keep it out of her far post.
And we've got the Crusaders corner as Gibson to shape up a shot from range, but she's had her pocket picked. It's Lucy Rao going the other way and just firing it wide. Oh, another great chance for Sala time, and one of these surely has to go in.
But Rao is fast. She outran the two Crusader girls with the ball at her feet and just couldn't get her shot away on target. McLean big in goals there, making it difficult, and Lucy Rao put her shot to the right-hand side.
And a save with the face from Hughes, and she is down. And
that is.
It was a, well, look.
Body on the line as the goalkeeper. In this case, Samantha Hughes put her face on the line and made an excellent save, but
Thankfully, she's back on her feet. We did see the head knock in the first half to Kyla Hansen, who has just made her way on to the court.
Solid goal, excellent positioning, and that's where she needs to be. Unfortunate she's copped it in the face, but she is back and raring to go.
And not a whole lot of time to react either, but it's exactly what you want from your goalkeeper.
Absolutely. It's all about positioning for goalkeepers. Once they're positioned right, then their reactions can take over and do the job, and Samantha Hughes has done that just then.
Wasted. Kicking is picked up by Gleason, and the golden boot winner hits it off the post.
Did everything but score there, Gibson.
And here is Hansen now taking the shot on, and it's always rising as it strikes the banner behind McLean's goal, and it did take a deflection actually, so it is a corner now for Sala time. All four Crusaders players back. And
Hansen rushed by McElligott.
And a beautiful ball now. Here is McElligott, and it's saved again by Hughes. And McElligott, with a rueful smile on her face, gets back to her feet and off the post from Gibson again. She's hit one, she's now hit the other, and now going the other way, it's Lang, squares it, back into it, through Kyla Hansen. 5 minutes into the second half, it is 2-1, and Sala time are back in this game.
What an extraordinary passage of play from one end to the other. Gibson hits the far post, Gibson hits the near post, the ball pops out, and it's a 2v1 with Lang and Hansen with the defender from Crusaders. They brush the defender off, they draw McLean out of goal, and Hansen dribbles it over the line to make it 2-1, and it is game on here in the second half.
And he was just saying, 2 shots off the post from Annabelle Gibson, and off that second one, you go right down the other end, and you have to give Lang plenty of credit for her work in the build-up before unselfishly teeing up Hansen. And we've got a game on our hands now, Ben.
Absolutely. And they're on again here.
Downman from the tight angle, and McLean got a foot to it. Who was the last touch off? And
ooh, Crusaders ball. And just like the first half, Sala have come out with a bit of intent here. However, the difference this time is that they have left themselves a little bit more exposed at the back, so lots of chances both ways at the moment. Georgie Zerps finds it deep in the corner, but can't do anything with it.
Marshalled out by Hannah Moormar.
Oh, an errant pass there, 3v2.
As it's Latham putting it on that trusty left foot.
She had Robinson open on the right, didn't go that way.
On the turn by Robinson, the touch just a bit heavy, allowing Moormar to pick it up, and I think Moormar thought maybe...
Well, Moormar thought Hansen was going to the space, and Hansen thought Moormar was going to the space, and Mustafa thought one of them was going to the space, and nobody went into that space.
You can see the adrenaline now kicking in for Sala time as well. They've got that goal back. They want to push and try to level it. When Hansen scored, she was very quick to get the ball back to the centre of the court. And now turnover with Latham. Robinson just lurking. Oh, Latham, she'll go herself.
Possibly could have picked up a free kick there as well. Hacked a little bit of Okana Morton, but no different to what Crusaders were doing in the first half.
Well, that's all you can really ask for from the officials, is just consistency of the call. And here is Hansen from a tight angle and denied by McLean.
Excellent pass from Okana Morton, parallel to the line to find Hansen, who took a touch past the defender but couldn't beat McLean, and there was not enough movement quick enough through the centre for Sala time to make that a real opportunity.
And here is Hansen battling against Robinson. Latham on the turn as she thought about checking it back to her right foot. Instead it rolls behind for a goal kick.
But creating space with the turn, keeping possession and taking the defender out. It's just the poor follow-up touch that let her down there.
He does. Nice Robinson. Very key figure for this Crusaders side. Scored the goal in the cup final that iced the game.
Misha is one of the coaches at QAS at the moment.
She was nominated for the FQ Development Coach of the Year.
Oh,
And here is a
some
chance
fast
now for Zerps, and buries a chance, making no mistake. Georgie Zerps, her first goal of the season, and it's restored Crusaders' 2-goal advantage.
What a goal. Picked the ball up wide on the right, turned, had 2 Sala time players in front of her. Does a couple of little touch, finds herself onto her left foot at the top of the circle and beats young Sam Hughes down to her left-hand side, just inside the post, and Georgie Zerps has wrestled the momentum back in Crusaders' favour.
And that is exactly what the Crusaders coaching staff would have been hoping for as well. As, look, in fairness to Hughes as well, that shot was travelling. The net very much rippled.
And to cut it back onto to have it with her left foot, pick up that angle. Excellent work. Again, Morma there.
Determined block made by Dunn.
And fortunately, she came in at the right angle to cut out the pass down to Rao on the left-hand side as well. Ooh. Deflection there for a corner off Gleason's face, by the looks of it.
And just quick check-in to make sure that Gleason isn't anyway impacted by that deflection. Just checking her lip to see if there was any blood flowing.
Blood free at the moment on court. Again, he's sitting deep here and inviting Crusaders on, which is a tactic that's worked. When they did score, they'd invited them on and got a 2v1 with the keeper from their fast transition.
Clever turn by Mustafa as laying just by Gibson. Gibson's probably thinking, what do I have to do to catch a break? She's hit both posts, and I wonder if she's aiming for the crossbar or the back of the net to complete the challenge.
I'm sure she'd like one in the net as well. But there's nothing wrong with a crossbar challenge halfway through a game.
Rao picking herself back up. She's been on the receiving end of some strong challenges in this match.
Mustafa rides a challenge there, gets it out right.
Yep.
Ball comes
back.
back.
Cut back. And
it's the right ball, just a touch behind again.
And I think it just bounced at an awkward point as well.
Absolutely.
For Mustafa to bring back under control.
Well, there's loads of room out here for Dunn on the right.
And this is dangerous now. It's McElligott blocked away by Mustafa.
So quick transitioning forward, Sala. They've got to be just as quick transitioning back. There was loads and loads of space for Emily Dunn out here on the right.
Just under 8 minutes remaining. Crusaders looking to ice the game with more goal as Hughes just making sure posts are correctly aligned. Targeting LaFrenz with that clearance. It falls instead for McElligott, and she goes for the deft little chip trying to pick out that far post.
Or the incoming run from April Gleason just took the run a bit square instead of straighter there. But every time they go forward here, Crusaders, they look like they're going to score.
And it's McElligott again. She scored in the NPL Grand Final. Now she's scored in the F-League Grand Final. Meg McElligott makes it 4-1 to Crusaders. Well, she knows how to score in big games.
Well, picks up the ball from an errant pass about 15 metres out. 1 touches, 2 touches, and then through the legs of Hughes, and immediately Sala revert to a 5th man, or power play, if you like, with the extra attacker on the court. You'll see Crusaders sit really deep here and try and pinch a ball and have a long shot. Akana Morton will run back to goals if she needs to. And here's where Crusaders will need to punish them.
And that is something they are certainly capable of. I'm sure every Crusaders player on the court is thinking, get the ball forward quickly when they get the chance.
Absolutely. The worst thing that Sala could do here is have a shot that ends up in the hands of Jane McLean, because she will immediately go for goal, and with her AFL background, probably hit it on target.
I believe she scored a similar goal for Western Pride in her time as well in the NPL.
Absolutely.
Against Brisbane City out at Newmarket.
I believe that is the case.
I'm going back about 4 years here, so my memory isn't 100%. Bear with me on that as Dowman blocks the shot with her back.
So you'll see a quick transition here between keepers when Sala have the ball. Hughes rotates off. Akana Morton will rotate straight back on in the white jersey. And then if they lose possession, they've got enough time for Akana Morton to go straight back to the sub box. Hughes will transition again. Trying to create a 5v4 power play here for the Sala team. The extra person, get an overload and one-on-one with the keeper to have a shot. Doesn't quite happen in that occasion. Well, that's the ball to Hansen there. If Hansen's standing a little bit more upright, she possibly has a free header on goal.
It wasn't. Downman appealed for the kick in, and there's a goal now for Soraya Downman. We're back to 4-2 with just over 5 minutes remaining. Soraya Downman has given Sala time some life.
And the quick kick in from Hansen meets the run towards her from Downman, and Downman hits it on the angle at the same time, and the ball dribbles past to the back post past McLean, and we are in stop clock time, so anything that happens now, the clock will stop.
There is a lot of action still to come in the next 5 or however long this takes. So
absolutely.
Don't switch off your stream, folks. Could be in for a grandstand finish.
So just getting my coaching board returned by a couple of under 13 players. Thank you,
That's
gentlemen.
what you want. Latham
Going to press everything here, Crusaders, but when they do, they leave themselves open.
And Hansen trying to slide rule it through for Lang, and McLean takes that cleanly. Long ball trying to pick out Latham. It's into the bench off Muammar, so it is a Crusaders kick in, and well, they can take a patient approach with this, but timeout has been taken by Crusaders. Just a chance for both teams now to gather themselves. Ben, put your coaching hat on. What are you saying if you're the Sala time coaching staff?
I think we're just going to keep going for it. It's pointless now worrying about defending as a block. If we can transition back, we transition back. But as soon as we get that ball forward, we look for a kick in. We look to somewhere to get our power play happening. Get Akana Morton on with her left foot, trying to hit it from range. Pick out the corners against JJ McLean and go from there. For Crusaders now, Glenn Boyd would just be settling them down, calming them down. Doesn't look like it. trying to calm them down.
He may be saying it in a very animated fashion, I believe. Glenn Boyd as well, but the whistle has gone. The players are coming back onto the court. So 4 minutes 36 on the clock here at Nissan Arena. Crusaders 4-2 up over Sala time.
Yeah, you can see Sala ready to pounce. They are young and enthusiastic and fearless. That's how they beat them earlier in the season. They were fearless. And at the moment, they have got momentum on their side.
And it was Soraya Downman with the winning goal in that fixture all the way back in round 2. And that
is a free kick.
That certainly was. And will that be a booking for Georgie Zerps? That was probably more of a
shin-to-shin challenge there. They both come off with.
Certainly nothing malicious in that. Just a little bit late. Perhaps a bit of fatigue setting in.
Absolutely. Oh, and like just general pressure. Everything's happening at one time. The crowd is up. Maybe not played in front of these many people for a game of futsal for a long time, since last year's final.
One of the joys of grand final day, though. Plenty of people coming out.
Absolutely, and having the junior grand finals on at the same day, the same venue, and state training, that helps as well.
And far better than battling the car parks at the shops to try and knock off your Christmas presents as McLean turns that one around.
Excellent work there. Created the space for Hansen, but she went to go to the near post. McLean's up to that challenge. Maybe they need to look back to cut it back more to the penalty spot to see if they can free somebody up there.
Akana Morton, and Boyd just dumps that one past the bench.
Oh, poor kick in. And it breaks, it's a momentum breaker, those sorts of things. Got to keep your wits about you. You might be fatigued, but you've still got a game to play. You've still got to come back to make.
And it is certainly something that could have an impact for Sala time as well. They did go to penalties in that semi-final as well. So is there going to be any lingering fatigue, perhaps, mental or physical?
I think mental fatigue more than anything else. Physically, these girls are up to the challenge. They play lots and lots of football and futsal all year round. Good pressure. Excellent pressure there from the Crusaders.
I'm pretty sure I saw Steph Latham doing Oh, great shot there. I just saw Latham do that. But also saw her doing a football, volleyball type tournament last weekend as well, just because apparently she's not busy enough, as is.
Why not, hey? Why not? Just extraordinary talented and extraordinarily fit, these women out on the court at the moment. But Crusaders, their press kept Akana Morton in goal. I think that's what they would like in these latter stages. Though it's pinched by Hansen.
She's got support with Muammar, but Boyd committed to the challenge. Well, it could be caught out now. Muammar on the near side, looking for the angle, for the cutback, picking out Downman. Intercepted though by Zertz. With a little turn, and turnover now for Downman. She's got a 3-on-2. Hansen from the angle, and it's deflected wide. A corner now for Sala time. 3 minutes 7 on the clock.
Again, going at the near post of McLean there. Downman was just a step further back. Possibly could have found Downman with a free shot on goal at the top there. But the power plays on.
Lang with the curling effort. McLean
takes a
down.
Kick from long range, and Akana Morton back in goals. Takes a touch forward.
And Latham almost with the steal, and here's McElligott, and that is definitely going to be...
That is a red card, you would think.
And the decision, Latham is... Anyway, that is a red card for Hannah Muammar, as she is ruefully smiling as she makes her way off and...
In on goal, no keeper, no other defenders in sight. Would have been an obvious goal-scoring opportunity. What will happen now is Crusaders will be one player up until they score a goal or until the clock hits 50 seconds. So 2 minutes or until they score. It will be a 4v3 on the court.
This is why you're here, to help me through these moments, Ben.
It's one of my many gifts. So if they score here, Crusaders will go straight back to 4 court players. Until that happens, they'll be playing with one extra, essentially a 2-minute power play.
And McElligott will take the strike on save by Hughes on her NPL teammate McElligott. But look, maybe this is my naivety speaking here, Ben, but if you're Crusaders, do you necessarily want to score in this moment, or do you try and just move the ball around, tire Sala time out, and just try and grind down the clock? Because it's 2:45 now.
You can, but you'll see Sala is just going to sit behind halfway. They might push forward, but they'll ride as much of the clock as they can. And because it's stop clock, make the most of the last 50 seconds if they can keep the score or keep the margin at 2 and maybe even pinch a goal themselves. That's got to be positive for them. And as they go backwards here, Crusaders will try and draw 1 or 2 of the Sala girls out.
There's a turnover as Downman. I think that last touch might have come off Zara Boyd.
And Sala were just more patient then. They put Kyla Hansen up top to go from one spot to the other. And the intercept from Downman gets her shot off, and McLean is up to the challenge.
Just
4v4.
Over 2 minutes to play here. And
Akana Morton stepped up into the attacking half. And maybe Lang didn't see her there, but she was open, and her left foot was free. Hughes drops back into goal now, and they go back to 3 on court. It doesn't really matter how long they take off the court, the 2 minutes only of playing time.
Here's Dunn driving forward. Looking for one for her. Tally or McElligott from the angle, denied again by Hughes.
Dunn was just waiting for the defenders to split there so she could have a shot from the top to the centre of the circle, and it didn't quite happen. Akana Morton is back on the court now, and again, they're going to go with a 4v4 on court if they can keep possession going forward, and they don't.
It's a 2-on-2 now, and Latham, well, that should do it. Crusaders, they're going to win the grand final again. Steph Latham ices the game. It is 5-2.
It is. They tried something there, Sala, but if you're going to do that, you need to hold possession. Ball was intercepted in the backcourt from Crusaders, and it found Meg McElligott, who had an open Steph Latham. All she had to do was place it past that to the near post, and Akana Morton is an excellent court player, but she is not the same keeper as Hughes or McCormack. And it is now 5-2 with 1 minute 40 left. All players back on the court.
The power play pays off as it was deflected out off Lang.
Quick transition. Hughes back in goal for the defensive set. Four seconds. Took more than 4 seconds there, Meg McElligott. And so the kick-in is awarded to the opposition. A little bit of time wasting. Despite the stop clock, there's still, once that ball's down, you still only have 4 seconds to take the kick-in. Same with any stoppage in play. Once the ball is in or live, in which case the ball goes down, the referee will count out 4 seconds, and if you don't play the ball in that 4 seconds, you will hand it over to the opposition.
Turnover now is Hansen. And no way through Misa Robinson. There goes Lang. Trying to find a way through. Hansen's picked it up on this near side. Top of the area for Lang. Rowell. Deflected behind off Gleeson.
3v2 there from Sala. They didn't take advantage of the extra player. It's a few times they've done that now where they've had an overload and they haven't quite made the right choice in that attacking situation.
Sam Hughes coming forward for this corner, and she'll get the shot away, blocked again by Robinson. Done.
Excellent positioning and good contact, just didn't quite get it with the correct part of her foot.
Kyla Hansen, well, she's not giving up the cause. Here's Lucy Rao tracking back to pounce on that loose ball, and Lang can't get clean contact on that. 40 seconds to go here at Nissan Arena. McElligott over for Gleeson, as McElligott says, I'm not going anywhere near that. We'll take the kick in.
Yeah, looks like Gibson not going to go back on to try and score her goal. Hit both uprights.
I think she'll take the overall victory in the match. Of course, that is another trophy for Annabelle Gibson. She won 5 with Gold Coast Knights in the FQPL champion. Oh, that was a heavy challenge from Gleeson, and
Mustafa has landed on her
very
knee.
heavily.
Desperation from Gleeson to get back, but just went straight through the player.
And it could be a fortunate ending to this match for... Oh no, just back up. 20 seconds to go. I can see it out, Coach.
Yeah, that's it.
She'll make her way over to the bench just for a quick check-up.
And she's back.
She's been given the all-clear. It's Hansen. I think she's going to take this shot on. It's
along the ground. That was quite a hit.
And all power there from Kyla Hansen as she fires that one wide. So for a couple of these players, you've got Annabelle Gibson, 5 trophies with Gold Coast Knights, 3 trophies this year with Crusaders, and Hansen for one more for her to tally. And the crowd will count us down here.
Oh, they're going to have to pause though. Oh, the stop clock has caught the crowd. Let's see if Sala can finish with a goal here. 4 seconds left.
Oh. And expect anything different. Crusaders win another F-League Grand Final. This time it is 5-2 over Crusaders FC. April Gleeson scored first. Steph Latham got herself a brace. Georgie Zerps and Meg McElligott for Crusaders. Kyla Hansen and Soraya Downman for Sala time. And Ben, look, this has been a phenomenal grand final in the end. Sala time gave them all they could handle, but the quality of Crusaders shone through.
Well, Sala time, the challengers elect from the competition. They came out and gave it their all. They had opportunities to score early on. They didn't take it. And the skill and the class and the experience of this Crusaders team has seen them triumph in the end in what was a deserved victory.
You can leave the trophy just where it's been for the last 4 years, with Crusaders continuing their dominance and a couple of the Sala time players just going off for some running repairs after what was a very physical game as well. Plenty of challenges flying in.
Absolutely. Both teams brought all their energy, all their physicality to the game, and it was an excellent contest.
And it was the last game of the year as well, so they certainly could leave it all out on court, and it is smiles and hugs for Crusaders. JJ McLean, the reigning futsal player of the year, stood up big in goal with some big saves when her side was under pressure.
Absolutely, and that's what class, experience, it shone out in the end. This Sala Time team has been a breath of fresh air for the whole competition in 2024, and as they develop in 25, more challenges will step up to the plate and they'll continue to take on Crusaders. They took a game off them this year, but not the big one when it counted.
But it is probably an encouraging conclusion to what has been a good season for Sala Time overall as well. And with the young talent they've got at their disposal, certainly something for them to build on. Well, we are going to step away, Ben, because we're on duty again in just under an hour for the men's grand final. So stay tuned on FQTV for that. It is Gold Coast Galaxy against, of course, Crusaders in that one as well. So I'm James Collett for Ben Sharma. Thank you so much for your company. We'll see you at 1:30 for the men's grand final.